One of the things that people are the most worked up about and have been the most worked up about around Jalen Hurts is that Washington's defensive coordinator, Joe Witt Jr., he had a very questionable answer. He was asked about the Hurts injury and about how they're going to play defensively against Jalen Hurts. I want you to hear what the defensive coordinator of the Commanders had to say about how they're going to approach tackling Jalen Hurts in this game. And then I want you to remember that his quarterback also runs, and this game is in Philadelphia, and this might not have been a smart thing to say. All right, let's go out to Joe Witt Jr.
We've had a number of these guys that we've had to prepare for, and so the one thing is if he's going to run the ball, and if the coordinator makes a decision for him to run the ball, we're going to treat him like a running back, and we're going to hit him that way. So that's their decision if they want to get him hit the way that he gets hit. If they don't, they'll keep him in the pocket. So, but that's what we're going to do.
Boy, that's kind of ballsy. That's a pretty ballsy proclamation. Now, on one hand, I respect it, and it is being honest and forthright that that's what he thinks is like. If you're going to give up your body and you're going to give up what is essentially your protection as a passer, and you're going to run, we're going to tackle you like a running back or like any other player, implying that they're not going to hold up. They're also not going to hold up on the fact that the guy might have a hurt knee. They're going to tackle him like they tackle anybody else. I get it, and fundamentally, I understand the thought process behind it. I don't think I would have said that. I don't think that was the smartest thing to say because Jaden Daniels also is a mobile quarterback who could pick up yards with his legs. And like this defense has been so opportunistic and has been so deadly, I don't know if you needed to then give this defense additional incentive to go out and just pound Jaden Daniels. I think this actually opens them up for locker room fodder, for bulletin board fodder. This to me wasn't a very smart thing to say if you're Joe Witt Jr. I think I would have just refrained. I don't think this was a smart call at all on his part. Because if he's effectively saying right off the bat, I mean, this isn't going to change the Eagles' game plan. Like, the Eagles weren't going to go into this game saying, well, we have an NFC East pact. Okay, we have an NFC East pact. And if we can't win, as long as the NFC East is represented healthy in the Super Bowl, they have a chance to take down the Chiefs or the Bills. The Bills aren't going to win. The Chiefs or the Bills aren't going to win. That doesn't exist. Like, that's not happening. So, no. The idea that, this is going to change the Eagles' game plan, hysterical, essentially putting an extra large blinking target on your own quarterback, to me is kind of nonsensical. Now, do I know for a fact that this is going to change how the Eagles' defense was going to play Jaden Daniels? No. Do I think that there's a chance now that they're maybe look to blow the young guy up a little bit more? It's possible. Connor Allen asks, does Joe Witt Jr. know Jalen Carter is going up against a backup guard and can get after a 150-pound quarterback? If he didn't know before, he will know on Sunday. I said, as soon as Cosmi went out, as soon as he made the announcement, torn ACL, out for the playoffs, pretty long recovery process ahead of him, that had to be the thing that had you licking your chops. Right guard goes out. Jalen Carter's going to line up. He should feast in this game. Even if Jalen Carter doesn't get multiple sacks, he should be able to collapse that pocket almost single-handedly and make Jaden Daniels' life a living hell. And then you add on to that the home field advantage of playing in Lincoln Financial Field. I don't think this is going to be a blowout. I will tell you that. But we'll get there in a little bit. Jamie also says the Commanders' defensive coordinator is an idiot. Of course, you're going to hit him like a running back, like any quarterback, except for Mahomes. Because remember, you can't touch Mahomes. We talked about this on Monday. But when you say it like that, you're giving bulletin board material. I agree. Let's see. Ford says the Eagles' pass coverage is going to be tested, which for me, they'll show up. It's about can they do it all game. We need the offense to give the Eagles' defense a rest. That I think is the best point Ford has made today. And it is a very astute point. You need to make sure that you're giving the Eagles defense a break. The second game of the season against Washington, the one where Jalen Hurts went out, a big reason why I think the defense collapsed late in that game is because they got thrown back onto the field again and again. This happened early in the season against Tampa Bay, albeit a very hot game. Eagles were missing some key players, but the defense ended up out on that field again and again and again, didn't have the opportunity to rest, and it fell apart. If the same thing that happened against the Rams happens against the Commanders this week, and the Eagles defense is on the field for far too long in the fourth quarter, I do actually fear Jaden Daniels' multifaceted approach to the game a lot more than I feared Matthew Stafford as a pure pocket passer. And I'm not exactly sure that it would go as well for the Eagles if they're in that same situation late in this game in the NFC Championship. So I do agree. I think a lot of this comes down to the Eagles getting off to a strong start. And I think it ultimately gets to the Eagles being able to eat up clock in the second half, give their defense a rest so they can go out and make those big plays, make those game-changing plays, force those takeaways, and ultimately punch the ticket to the Super Bowl. Andrew Fawcett says for the secondary, they can't play too aggressive, keep the coverage simple. I assume they will. You can't have moments like Slay going up for the ball, right? Going up for like the one-handed breakup, and then the ball goes over his head and it becomes a big catch. You can't have that happen on Sunday. You can't let Scary Terry get behind Slay, where Slay's trying to make a play on the ball instead of just ensuring that the pass doesn't land in the hands of the opposition.